Welcome back to the Blue Collar Off-Road Podcast. I think this is episode 237, but don't fucking hold me to it. The Web Wheelers Ball has just concluded. I'm back from Harlan, and tonight we've got Jake Thompson and Richie in the house to talk about what went on at the Web Wheelers Ball. I'm probably going to sprinkle some Harlan bullshittery in there. But yeah, welcome back, guys. Fucking
What's up?
long time no see on your behalf, Jake.
Yep.
It's
Some
been
shit
a hot
has
minute.
changed. So, I gotta ask, what happened to the Samurai? It's no longer red. It's got a different front grille, and it's like now FDE like every other fucking Tacoma out there.
Well, I still got it. I've been wheeling it pretty much up until like 2 runs ago, and it's just going to take a little break for a while. And I have a bunch of parts to rebuild it, but I got to decide what I want to do. There's nothing wrong with it, so it's hard to like take it apart. You know,
Yeah.
like I know what it needs to make it better and go like kind of to the next level, but it still works, and I don't really care about it that much. So it's fun to just go thrash it, but we'll see what happens with it. I haven't made up my mind.
I completely understand that fucking mindset. This weekend was probably the most abuse my Jeep has fucking seen in
Same.
2 years. So you've got the Toyota and the false assumption leaf springs party harder now. What's up with that Toyota?
Not much. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have seen pictures of it, but it's 85 4Runner is what it started as. It's still all Toyota. It's 22RE, W Series trans, normal 5-speed, dual cases. It's got 228 gears in the front case, 4 7s in the rears. It's IFS width all the way around. So it's like with spacers, it's like 60 and a half, 61. 410 diffs just to keep a big pinion, and lock right in the front, spool in the back, hydro assist, like pretty much a basic Toyota build, but then the frame was super bent, so I back halved it and put a back seat in it so my son could ride in it someday. And yeah, it just kind of
congrats on the kid.
Oh, thank you. He just turned 1 not quite a month ago, but yep, he just turned 1.
Hell yeah.
Fucking time flies by fast right now, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, man, it was like the longest and shortest year of my life.
Yeah.
I can't relate, but I suspect I'll be there sooner or later.
Oh, it's great, man. It's great.
I'm excited for it. I realize it's just like going to fucking happen at this point. There's, Anyways, this isn't the Blue Collar Off-Road Babies podcast. So, you back half to Toyota and kept the fucking leaf springs. What an absolute Toyota move.
Yeah, man, I just wanted to keep it super simple. Like, the Chevy 63s work awesome. It's rears up front. It's like a bastard spring pack. Nothing fancy. It's got some decent shocks on it. But I just wanted to see what I could make it do, Like, I don't know. I just wanted to build something super simple, and I've always wanted a Toyota, and I probably could have gone a different route with it, but I'm really happy I did, just because I want to be able to hang like bigger rigs with a Toyota-based crawler and see what I can make it do.
Dude, it's always fun when the shitbox Toyota or the shitbox XJ is out there partying with the fucking buggy guys.
Yep.
There's nothing better than it just casually chilling along for the ride. Sometimes they let you know that they are definitely not a fucking buggy, though.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And of course, you did the Toyota thing and put it on fucking reds. God damn it.
Well, the deal came up and I couldn't say no.
Honestly, I think for a low horsepower rig or for like a dedicated crawler rig, reds are where it's fucking at. I really like the Mickeys as like a general purpose, but reds outperform them as far as just a straight up rock crawling tire.
As long as they stay on the rock.
Hey,
Yeah,
listen,
well, that's
buddy,
the problem.
Yeah, reds are awesome as long as you can keep them on the ground. The one thing that they don't want to grab is air. That's for sure.
Speaking from experience now,
Oh, I mean, it's a leaf sprung rig. It likes to hop a little bit.
dude, fucking this weekend was bad. Everyone was just airing everything out. Logan spent, I think, more time pogo sticking on 3 wheels up shit than fucking he did on all 4 this weekend. I put my shit over onto its side like 4 times. I'm gonna guess Roush had absolutely insane fucking, excuse me, traction going on.
Yeah, it was very, very dry. Even like across the street, all the way down low. I forget half the trail names over there, but like everything was dry. There wasn't even really mud like in the little cracks like between the big rocks or anything. It was very, very dry, which was nice. Like I haven't seen it that dry there ever in my life, and I've probably been there 6, 7 times at this point.
Yeah, when Roush is dry, there is nothing but fucking traction. Harlan was the exact same way. It was just zero traction this weekend. Um, lots of people doing lots of shit that they shouldn't have been. Like, and just defying logic. It was awesome. So Richie, I gotta ask you, how'd your Web Wheelers ball go?
Mine was just peachy, except for the fucking gladiators. I fucking hate gladiators. They're worse than JK people.
Alright, you gotta explain this hot take.
So, on Saturday, I ended up running into the same 2 gladiators probably a half dozen times out on the trail. Every single time. It was a really weird, far out there, obscure trail. And they are blocking the whole fucking trail, having a goddamn picnic. like legitimate. Like, I saw a cooker at one point.
Overlanding for the gram, dude.
And they got mad at me for getting mad at them for blocking the fucking trail.
Old Jeep trucks versus new Jeep trucks.
Old Jeep trucks are cooler.
Oh yeah.
I got yelled at by one of the guys because when I bushwhacked around their gladiators, because I didn't feel like sitting there waiting for them to fucking move again. I apparently got too close and could have hit him. Not that I did, just that I could have.
You should have.
I'm like, get the fuck out of an off-road park then.
So at one point coming through fucking Harlan, you know, like Harlan's got a side-by-side problem, aka, as Connor so eloquently put it, the fucking trail fleas, boss.
Yep.
Fucking, there's one point where I'm like, steering wheel's cut over trying to push me into the fucking dirt bank and like up the dirt bank, but the Mickey is just bouncing off all of their tires, pushing them over as I am going down the fucking trail because fuck you.
Hey, as far as I'm concerned, if you're in the middle of the trail blocking traffic, you count as traction, so.
Yeah, you become a part of the trail.
Yep.
But other than I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, some of the side-by-side guys were fucking cool. They were following us around just watching the shenanigans, but the majority of them are fucking annoying. Sorry, back to you, Richie. My bad.
Other than the gladiator guys, I had a pretty enjoyable weekend. I got my little bit of revenge on Yellow Jacket. I walked right up all that, so I was pretty pleased with myself. Pretty vindicating.
Well, it was not fair how bad you got denied last year.
Yeah, apparently a front locker makes more of a difference than people think there, huh?
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
I should have just fucking welded the diff last year just to fucking do it.
Fuck that.
Don't do that.
If you don't have hydro assist, fuck that. And then even if you have hydro assist, fuck that. Like Logan's front axle is welded and it works really fucking well, but since he doesn't have fucking digs, he can't just like pivot around stuff and he can't throw it into front wheel drive to, make it so it'll actually like wrap around the fucking obstacle.
Yeah.
Or just go down trail nicer. He just can't fucking get that thing to turn. We were trying to get him turned around and he almost pirouetted out of Crawford's crawl, and that was fucking sketchy, but we made it work. Well, he made it work. I wasn't involved.
But no, I gotta say the only real complaint I have from the weekend is when me, Jake, and Preston went across the street there. I was running hot, like 230, 235 for like the whole trip down. I let the Jeep cool off some, popped my radiator cap off, and then put it back on, and it ran like 203 the rest of the fucking day. So either
an air bubble,
that or I have a shitty fucking Amazon sensor that is a shitty Amazon sensor.
That's also possible.
And my steering gets hot. No, I let it cooled off till a point where I could like touch the cap, and a little bit of coolant came out just from the pressure. But that's it.
Yeah, if it wasn't a street-driven rig, I would suggest just going to a fucking solid fan setup. As loud and obnoxious as mine is, my rig does not give a flying fuck what temperature it is outside. It's running somewhere around 180 if I can keep my foot in it.
Yeah.
What is your fan setup, Richie? Is it just clutch fan and then E fan on a switch?
It is a brand new clutch fan.
Right.
And E fan on a switch.
Is it the stock like Cherokee Comanche E fan on a switch?
Yes.
Yeah, those tend to work pretty good. Is it like stock size radiator, like nothing fancy?
Oh yeah, it's stock equivalent across the board.
Okay.
Do you have a thermostat in it?
Yes, I have a thermostat. I believe it's a 185 thermostat.
Okay.
The last time what was I doing? I believe when I replaced the clutch fan, like 3 weeks before Roush. Yeah, 3 weeks sounds about right. I shattered the fan shroud for the mechanical fan, and I ran out. Yeah, I ran out of time to glue it back together. I was just gonna JB weld it, but I totally forgot to.
Yeah, a decent fan shroud definitely makes more of a difference than most people realize.
Oh, it's a huge fucking difference.
Otherwise,
mine doesn't
going everywhere.
Mine doesn't have a shroud on it, so when it wasn't welded solid, it would just fucking randomly spike temperatures up, even with a factory Cherokee E fan on a switch. It didn't matter. Now, like, I've got it basically on the aux beam. You turn the whole top row of switches on to run it, and it has the E-fan auto on. And it's pretty tame.
But I mean, even after it ran hot, and then a little while later, Preston got the hole in his gas tank, and I ended up having to flat tow him all the way back up from, the bottom of, I think it was N2,
Yeah, it was somewhere pretty far
Like-
down on the other side.
Like the N3, N2 area is where he officially like ran out of fuel.
Yep.
I towed him all the way back up the hill to the parking lot, and I think the hottest I hit was 215.
So the way this weekend went was Richie and Preston. What time
We'd
when
go
did you
out
guys
for a
get-
couple of hours.
Yeah.
He'd break something. We'd go back, fix it for a few hours, and then go back out for a few hours.
When
and
did
then-
you guys get there? Thursday night?
Yeah, we got there. I'd say I believe we pulled in right about 5:30 Thursday night.
Yeah. And
You know,
then-
just enough time to set up camp, make dinner, hit the sack.
Yeah, and then Craig and I were the next ones there, and we didn't show up until like Friday around noonish, kinda.
Yeah, roundabout.
Yeah. So then we decided to just go bebop around on the other side, and I'd never been to the other side of the park. It seems like every time I was there in the past, the other side was shut down for something like a rally event, or the group that we had just didn't want to go over there. And so we drove around a decent amount Friday. I had an issue where we were just bombing trails, and my steering ram likes to contact my oil pan because it's like on the very top of the axle, and it hit the ram lines and loosened them when it hit it, so it just sprayed everywhere. And that's right about the same exact time that Richie ran a little hot, but we got everything all fixed up. We keep bombing, and we found a couple hill climbs. I forget what that's called, like Flat Top or something was where I was headed. And then, yeah, you yelled up the hill. Tip Top, that's right. I was waiting for you guys to come up the hill, and you were like, "There's a hole in Preston's gas tank," and I was like, "What? What do you mean?" And you were
Preston
like,
could not
"There's a
catch a break.
hole in his gas tank that I can put my hand in." I was like, "Oh, well, what do you want to do about that?" And then you were like, "Well, we're just gonna head back up to camp." And I was like, "Well, me and Craig are just gonna bebop around a little bit by ourselves and explore, and then we'll meet you back there." And you were like, "All right."
I mean, that is the most understandable thing to do in that situation.
Yeah, and I'm a little upset because I really wanted to get back over there and try out those hill climbs because they kind of looked a little entertaining. And
Yeah, they were.
I totally kept forgetting until like 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. Like I said, I'd never been over there before. So we just cruised around a little bit, and like Craig was my passenger all weekend, and he was running like navigation for me. And so we were just like, "Oh, let's see where this goes. Let's see how this takes us." Just cruising around.
I will tell you this: if you ever get the chance to wheel with Curtis, don't
Mhm.
let him navigate.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Great
we did
dude.
pretty good this weekend. He was using like a Maprika map from like 2019.
Hell yeah!
I most definitely saw at least 3 times more of the park than I did last year.
Well, that's awesome.
Sorry, Richie.
Oh, no, it's not a dig at everyone from last year, Luke. Last year, we stuck to primarily harder trails, but with it was Preston's first trip. His rig was untested. It was on bald ass 33s. So it's like, well, let's bebop primarily greens and some blues Friday, and then Saturday we like slowly worked our way up to one small black trail.
Dude, imagine your first wheeling trip being Roush.
Dude, that's kind of rough, but also like it sets the bar.
Yeah, like you're ruined for anything
If-
after that for a
if-
little while.
No,
Um,
Roush isn't that bad of a first trip if you don't break every time you go out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking
Like I feel bad for the kid at that point.
I also feel bad for him because he got to ride around in fucking my Jeep quite a bit when it was in its heyday, and then he goes out there with his own shitbox and just shit wrecks the motherfucker.
Yeah. Luckily, it was all like fairly fixable stuff, and honestly, that's just because the people at the park are awesome, and it was also just luck. Sometimes it's better to be
pure
lucky
dumb luck.
than good. Like you guys know me, I'm a prepared person, but
Yes, you are.
I wouldn't have had fixes for the issues he had.
No, the fact that he was able to pull a gas tank from one of the wrecks in the back of the office was
Don't be telling
awesome.
everybody that. You're going to give away all your parts.
The fact that it was all new stuff attached to the gas tank was even cooler.
Yeah, that was a bonus.
The upgrade on the track bar was fucking mint.
Yeah, what are the chances they have a track bar in their scrap pile that's nicer than the one that was in his rig?
Yeah. It was
Dude,
a
that
larger
thing-
diameter tube with a larger diameter shanked heim.
Dude, that track bar in his rig was like 095 wall or something.
Yeah.
It was thin.
It was probably the rough country fucking track bar.
It was
It
gray.
kind of looked like Rubicon Express.
Yeah, either that. Yeah.
Which is still an upgrade over factory, but like upgrade is a very subjective term that is doing a lot right there.
Right.
Well, so the crux of it is Preston had a small dimple on the backside of a bend on the track bar, and I kind of just thought it was like a shitty manufacturing thing, you know, like they had a shitty die
or something. Yeah.
but that's exactly where it broke. Like you can see half the dimple on one side of the brake and half the dimple on the other side.
That's annoying.
Yeah, at least he's got some cool broken parts to hang on the wall and keep going from there.
Yeah.
Tell you what, like for that being his first trip, and I know he's been out with you guys before, but like his attitude was so good throughout all of that, you know? And that's like
he definitely took it out chin, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah. He was just there to have a good time. He was stoked to be able to go out and meet people and take his other gal.
The thing, party time.
Yeah.
Well,
Fuck
we
yeah.
ended up Marisha ended up not feeling too hot by late Saturday afternoon, so we dropped her off at the campsite and just told her to sit in the truck with the AC going.
Right.
And me and Preston went back out, and that's when we started kind of bebopping on the harder blues and that one black. And at one point, I ended up on what's it called? The ledges on the Blue Sea Trail, and I had the bitch completely in the air. I had one tire hanging out into nothing, fucking, and I'm just sitting there smoking the tires, just trying to get up it. And I just needed a little bit more, and I could have fucking had it. So I know what I'm doing first next year.
Dude, it's funny as fuck when you get a small tire rig out with big tire rigs because they have to party. They don't have a choice in it. They just gotta hang tire everywhere they go.
That's been
Oh, yeah.
kinda like the last few years. And 37s is a small tire rig, half the places I'm going.
Yes.
In the Samurai.
We had Michael, I'm not going to try and pronounce his last name because I'm going to butcher it, but Mike O. With us, he's got that 2.5 TJ on 37 blue labels with a Dana 30 and an 8.8, and we're running fucking reds at Harlan.
Hell yeah.
Dude, that fucking 2.5 was screaming.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, if Preston was on the 35s, I was like half tempted to go up F Trail with him.
Dude, F Trail is like a really good break-in hard trail. 'Cause
That's
there's
like,
a couple
that's
of
like the easiest red trail I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's the one that's like across the street, straight in, and you make a right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's like hands down the easiest red trail I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, your Jeep walked it last year open. Well, maybe not
Yeah.
walked, but
Well,
went up it.
No, I did take the bypass on the big hill. And this year I was like, well, I think I can just do the actual trail instead of taking the fucking bypass.
Fuck yeah. Did it go?
Didn't try.
Oh.
I wasn't
Right.
gonna have Preston follow me on his bald ass 33s. I mean,
Fair play.
maybe
Well,
if they
yeah,
were
well, clarify. 3 bald 33 ATs and 1 MT.
yeah.
They came off of the ZJ that ended up as a motor donor, if I remember correctly,
He had
for me at one point.
one digging
Yes.
And
And it was kind of funny because you could tell the difference.
tire. We should have put that bitch on the front.
Yeah. Hey, hindsight 2020.
No, because then with how his weekend was going, he'd managed to blow a 33 shaft or a 30 shaft up, and it would just
Yeah, well, you know what side the shackle box went through the fucking floor on?
Oh, I
the
forgot.
side with the dig tar.
Uh-huh. Yeah, we think that the shackle box went through the floor either on... Oh, fuck. I think it was the A1 Blue Trail over by the parking lot. Or there's a C Trail that has, like, a legitimate set of, like, cement stairs at the top of it. We went down that. I think it happened there. Preston thinks it happened over on the A1 trail.
Yeah, he had a rough runabout this weekend, but he was in good spirits. So that was Friday, and then what? Graham and Colin and Josie showed up at what, like 10-ish, 10:30?
Not that late.
Yeah.
I
Well, they're
mean,
supposed to be there
that
at, like,
that
what,
sounds like
4?
them.
So they were right on time.
Yeah, they showed up closer to 7. The
That's
sun
like
was
Wheeling with the Waltz.
the sun was going down, but it wasn't all the way down.
Okay, yeah, maybe it was earlier than I remember.
I'm gonna guess that after that shenanigans ensued, come Saturday morning.
Well,
Yeah.
I actually did not wheel with Graham and Colin all weekend.
No, you and Preston kind of did your own thing.
Yeah. And you guys missed hanging out with all the fucking gladiators. So, how did it go with Graham and Colin?
Good. So I don't remember hardly any trail names. Like, I know a couple, but once we finally got rolling Saturday morning, which was around 11 a.m. We ran with the Rockaholics guys. I think it was Chris Shinneman and Mike and what's his name?
Raphael.
Rafal? Is that how you say it? Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, they were with us, and we just ran. I think we went straight to Jotters. Is that Jotters Ridge?
I think so.
Jotters.
Jotters
Way.
Way.
Yeah, Jotters Way. And when we got there was Cherokee. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a buggy, but mostly Cherokee on 43s. He was going up it. There was a JK guy with him. They were going up it. I'm pretty sure they're both from New York. I don't know. I didn't get their names, but they were going up it. Graham went up it first. I think I tried to go up at second, but that was like probably the big ledge. It's not a ledge. It's like a big slab with like steps on it. That's like the entrance to it, kind of.
Yep.
From the bottom. Yeah, I like put the Forerunner up on that and made it like a third of the way up. But like the moment I would break traction at all, like leaf springs would do leaf spring things and it would just start hopping a little bit. And it got a little sketchy at one point, and I was like, you know what? I might be able to do it, but I'm just going to go around. And then half the guys behind me were like, yeah, we're just going to go around too. So that was nice that like the buggy guys that were there, like the Rockaholics guys, weren't like show off guys. They were just like out there to have a good time too, which was cool. So then we went through there. I honestly don't remember where we went next, but we had a pretty good time. I'm pretty sure his name's Mike, but someone will correct me, I'm sure. But
Clark, with the Toyota base buggy.
yeah, it's like a 22RE, a 5-speed. It has like a
Mike Clark.
Toyota diff. Yeah, okay. So then I'm pretty sure it was a little bit farther up that trail because Jotter's Ridge goes like up that big slab and then it like kind of weaves around a little bit and then there's just like this kind of V-notch thing and then you crawl up to the top. I'm pretty sure that was the trail. It might have been another one. Regardless, but he was in the back of the group and he shoved a tire into a rock, like not even hard, and broke an inner shaft, the long side shaft. Like we didn't even hear it. Like I was up ahead, I didn't hear anything, and his front tire just stopped spinning. Front driver just stopped spinning. So then he said, "Oh, I got another shaft," and him and Chris took off. I can't remember if Rafal went with them or not, but they took off back to camp to get it torn down. And then by the time we did like a couple more things, we all met up back at camp so that like Colin and Josie could let the dog out and everybody could eat some lunch and stuff. And then it ended up like we all helped him fix his stuff a little bit and get it all taken care of. Like he needed RTV and gear oil and stuff. And we had that. So got him all buttoned up. And then I honestly don't even remember the trail names that we went to next, but it was good wheeling. Like the whole day Saturday, we didn't do like a ton of stuff. At one point we ended up over at Shoot the Moon, which like if anybody knows what Shoot the Moon, yeah, if anyone knows what it used to look like, is nothing like that anymore. Like the middle line was the line. Like took my old Jeep up through there on 35s. My wife took her TJ through it on 35s. Like no big deal. Work your way through it. But now, like the center of it, I mean, it's pretty much rear territory. That the guy with the Cherokee on 43s,
Nick Barrett.
That's who it is. He beat that thing to death in the middle of Shoot the Moon for like probably 25 minutes to a half hour, or trying every single line he could. Like if he would have tried it in reverse and it wouldn't surprise me. He tried every single line and it just wasn't having it. The holes are just so big and the spacing of the rocks is so awkward that the trail is now like almost probably 5-6 feet wider on each side. And like going around the boulders that you use to stand on is the option now for anybody that doesn't want to get in the middle.
That's crazy.
Like even Chris, he was with us, the only Richie guy that was with us, he was like, no, I'm not going through that. Like it's gnarly.
Of course, so the Cherokee on 43s was the guy up there thrashing on it for a while, though.
Yeah, he was hitting it. Dude, he was so close, too. Like, we're all standing there, and I'm like, I literally don't see a line. And he was taking, like, imagine just, like, a 5-foot gap between rocks, and he was just trying to drive over it and climb the other side and, like, span the distance. And it was so close. But he has a super low belly. I mean, he's wide. He's got big tires, but, like, there's just, I don't know, everything it just wasn't working for him.
Yeah, you can only tune a can in XJ so hard before it just won't go because the body's too fat.
Right. And that thing works great, and it just wasn't his day for that. And it was pretty in the middle of that there was a little bit of mud, and that kind of screwed him up a little bit cuz he kept like kind of slipping around a little bit. But
Dude, that
yeah,
shit's the worst when there's that one random mid or mud puddle in the middle of the rock pile and it's like, ah, cool. Let's just
yep.
fuck everything up.
Yep. But then pretty much everybody else took it's like the right hand side now. And if you're wide, you got to climb way up the wall. You can take the left hand side. It's just really, really off camber, like down to the passenger side. And if you're like a top heavy rig, it's probably going to not feel very great. The right hand side is also pretty off camber, but there's like the rock on that side's a little higher. So you can just rail the driver's side of the body against it and it doesn't feel too bad, which is the line I took. But me being narrower than like a 1-ton rig, it wasn't as much of an issue of me having to climb super high. I was kind of able to snake through it, which is nice because, leaf springs and tipping over.
I thought they were more stable.
Well, sometimes. It really depends on like the obstacle. Like sometimes it feels pretty nice because the body's not like wobbling around. It kind of acts like you have sway bars. But then like once it starts to go, like if the front unloads, you got to be quick to catch it or it's going,
Yes. Thankfully, I'm past that. I don't have those problems. I don't like it when coils unload either because it just feels like everything's falling the fuck out from under you.
Yeah.
I don't know if leaf springs feel like everything's falling out from under you or not because I've never wheeled the front leaf rig.
Oh, it feels like it, and you hear it because the leaves are just going clack, 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 clack against each other the whole time. But, yeah, I railed the driver's side of the body on that a little bit. Not too bad. Just hit a couple tubes. Dented one tube, no big deal. Everybody else made it through. The end of Shoot the Moon, like when you go over the little hill past the rocks and you go left, it was the driest I've ever seen it down there. Like it's usually a swamp back in there.
Yeah, that's a full 45-minute rev limiter beatdown coming out of there.
We just drove right through it. Like it
Wild.
wasn't even bad. Like the end of it was still a little wet. Like I have a couple videos of Graham banging limiter on it, but like it really wasn't a big deal. We spent more time fixing a broken power seat in Rafal's rig than anything else, and he just grabbed a piece of wire off of one of the. You know how there's like all those refrigerators laying there.
Yeah.
He just like he was like, I need a piece of wire. And he looked over and he saw a piece of wire and just cut a piece off of it and then just like jerry rigged up his power seat with a piece of refrigerator wire.
It's amazing.
Oh, it was hilarious. His son was driving a lot of the weekend. I'm pretty sure his name's Michael. And that kid, he can drive. Like he knows how to drive. So that was pretty cool to see too.
Yeah. Can't argue with that. Fucking. Also, that rig just fucking works.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool rig. He ended up having some issues Saturday. At that point, it was later Saturday, and it was me and Graham and him, and we were going up Yellow Jacket. Like when you go up the first part of it, you make the hard right over. And then you come back over and climb the big ledge. It's like a super sharp left-hand turn.
Yeah.
And then he was coming down off of that, and something popped, and everybody thought it was an axle shaft. Like, couldn't really tell, but they headed out and loaded up. And I heard later, after he got home Sunday, that it was he lost a couple pinion teeth. And then he tried to take it apart while we were there, and whatever seals he's running came apart in two pieces, and he didn't have another one, didn't want to take the whole diff apart, so they ended up dipping out Sunday afternoon, Sunday morning.
I kind of get that. The pictures he sent me were yummy.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw a couple of them.
I think I sent a 60 bearing or pinion nut to be with Jesus this weekend. But like been in the rig for 6 years. Oh well. Kind of a deal.
Doesn't owe you any money, you're good to go.
Yeah. I'm gonna probably pick up a new pinion nut for it like this week and see if that's the problem. Otherwise, it be whatever the fuck it be. It doesn't owe me a fucking thing.
Did it take out the rain gear?
Well, that gear set's been hurt for a while, so I'm not sure if it did any damage. I haven't popped the cover. But if you put it into first, you can watch the pinion rotate in about a 1/4 inch, and then if you put it in reverse, it comes back about 3/8 of an inch. So something in there is chewy.
Isn't that the set of gears that you said is delaminating?
Yes.
And it's a Yukon gear set?
Yep.
All right. So I had a similar situation happen with a JK that I put gears in a few years ago at an old job, and the Jeep ended up following me to my new job, and it had a blown up rear end in it. And so I tore it apart, and I'm looking at all the pieces, and I'm like, man, none of this is like actual carnage. Like this, I don't think this was like my setup or part failure, but like the gears were just flaking apart.
No,
And this is like this is a street Jeep, okay? Like street JK. I don't even think it's a Rubicon on 37s. Like just a driver, you know.
Yep.
It was kind of
That's
wild.
weird.
Out of curiosity, do you have any idea on the mileage?
Honestly, I don't know. It's probably, I don't know, probably 40, maybe 30, 40,000, something like that, I would guess.
Yeah, I'm in a similar mileage boat, to be honest, because Jeremy, or not similar, but like at least 25,000 miles on them. Because Jeremy built that gear set and that axle went under in 2018. So it's been in the rig for 7 years.
Yep.
That's actually fucking wild to think about, too.
So I ended up just finding a set of Revolution gears and putting them in it, because that's what I've been running for a couple years now, and I haven't had a single issue with Revolution gears yet. So, you know, I'm not saying anything about like Yukon or anything like that, but I don't know.
Oh, I'll say it about Yukon. I don't give a flying fuck.
It seems like their quality's going down.
They didn't heat treat their gears right because they were getting fucking big and expanding at that point in time. And this will come up next week, I'm sure, because I'll probably have fucking torn it apart by then. But I talked with Carl Jantz, and just like we were shooting the shit because he messages us from time to time on the podcast. And so I just was talking with him, and he's like, yeah, no, they wore out the way they're supposed to wear out. They just, if they're chipping out like that, they're worn out, and the heat treat probably wasn't good. But you've also been beating the absolute dog shit out of the rig from how you described driving it. So
so there's probably some form of micro fractures in there and all that kind of stuff. It would be interesting to take one that is known to be like that and like flux it and just look at it. You know what I mean?
I can do that.
That would be kind of cool just to see. Like, I'm just curious. I'm genuinely curious. Like, I want to see around like where the ring gear bolts are, if it's like cracked out of the threads too. You know what I mean? Just, I want to see like where the deflection was.
I know on mine, I've got an issue where it is breaking the tip of the tooth and it is breaking the center of the tooth. So there'll just be like a center missing, and then there will be a random chunk just missing out of a pinion tooth.
Right.
So like, it's not wearing weird, if that makes sense. They're not like deflected out of the way. It's just they couldn't handle the time that they spent under the rig. However, that is not to say that if I put an impact on it and it tightens up, that I won't be sending it out next fucking month either. So, like, you know, We'll see where we end up. I have zero regard for that gear set at this point, so if it tightens up with just hitting it with an impact, we're going until we see sparks.
Yep.
When I reset it up, though, I'm resetting it with, or I'm setting it up so that way you have the teeth basically almost touching with no backlash whatsoever. If you will, almost like a negative backlash setup, just to try and keep it together.
I've said it before. I'll say it again. Parts don't break when they're moving and touching each other. They break when you clutch dump it or there's a sudden shock load. So if you can get rid of that initial backlash for a trail rig, if you can take that initial backlash out of there and get it as tight as you can with a good pattern, it's going to hold up a lot better.
Yeah, and it's like the most road time that my rig is going to see is running to the Steak Shack. The fucking Scorpion Off-Road's a place up the road from me. It's like 3 miles up the road. They host a like climbing wall thing that I might go to if I'm not working, kind of a deal. Right. Otherwise, the rig doesn't see road time.
Right.
Maybe 4 miles at Harlan.
Yeah, right.
Because it's bad on the fucking road at this point, dude. It's like almost scary.
Is it the full hydro, just not having the feel?
No, it's now got road feel with the load reactive orbital, but like I had a bunch of weird random problems. For example, I had a caliper lock up on me this weekend, and that caused the full hydro to get just all fucking twitchy. The heims in the front axle are like all fucking worn out, and that also, like, you don't have slop in your steering wheel anymore, so you kind of just like hear this clunk as the front axle kind of like, it's not moving a lot, but you can definitely tell when it finds a path in the road that it likes because it just kind of wants to keep going off of that. And the steering's set where it's set. So after 35, it's just not a pleasant rig to drive. Stickies on the road, yeah, they stick to the road, but they also make it corner like absolute hammered dog shit at 8 psi to 12 psi, and like I'm not going to air the tires up to air them back down 3 miles up the road at Harlan.
No.
So it's officially getting retired from road service entirely. It doesn't have a license plate on it anymore. How bad was the dust for you guys?
I tried to be in the front as much as possible because I have no form of windshield whatsoever. So I was like, hey, I will run navigation and lead because I have nothing. So
I know the feeling.
yeah.
I bought a shiesty and a pair of fucking goggles for this weekend. Holy fuck, was that a good call?
Yeah, we're heading down to Windrock in November, and depending, I'm probably going to end up doing the same thing just because.
Yeah, it gets brutal with no windshield. Let me know when you're going to be at Windrock. Or isn't that Thanksgiving weekend that we were talking about?
It's the weekend before.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Black Friday weekend, I don't know what we're doing, but I think it might be Harlan, or it might be AOP.
Yeah, it's going to be November 20th through 23rd. So, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's a week before I'll be going out.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I have to work, or I might not have to work that weekend, but I don't know if the rig's going to be up for making 2 trips because of how I've been driving it. I can't stop being bad with it.
Yeah, it's a Great American Crawl weekend at Windrock as well, so.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we got a small group planning on going. We're not really going to do stuff with the event or whatever, but yeah, I've never been there before, so this was the weekend at Roush was a really good test of like how the 4Runner is going to handle driving. You know what I mean? Because like I've had
Yeah.
it out wheeling. Like I took it out and wheeled it for the first time like a month and a half ago, and I already knew like I was pretty confident that it would hold up wheeling. I just wasn't sure how it would be on like the long, like not even road, but like dirt road drives between trails. Because like you guys know my Samurai, like it's not made for that.
It's not fast.
No, it's hilariously slow.
How's the Toyota do with it? Throw it
Dude,
in 2-to-1 and go.
yeah, I'll either leave it in, yeah, 2 at like first low, so the crawl box in low, which is just 228, and then like third gear, fourth gear, and it's probably doing 35, 40 miles an hour. And I don't even need to have it in low. It just makes it a little bit nicer because I only have 410s in the axles. So like 2-wheel drive, like 1-to-1 is like kind of hard on it, you know, because the
Yeah.
410s are trying to push a lot of weight. But I kept the 410s in there just to, well, I built new diffs, but I kept 410s just to keep the biggest pinion possible, you know.
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
And the gearing in the case makes up for it. Like final crawl is like 173 to 1.
If I could like redo a bunch of stuff, I'd probably put 488s in my diffs at this point.
Yeah.
Just because they've got more teeth in contact, they're slightly bigger as far as the pinion diameter goes. 538s are stupid low. And since I've got the 4-to-1, I would sacrifice a little bit of the low end to have more high end out of my first gear.
Right. Like
Uh,
most of the weekend I was in double low, like crawling like double low second or third, but then like in my rig, double low second, and in between second and third is very similar to like single 4.7 first.
yeah,
So like there's so many options, and I put a twin stick in it too. So being able to, twin stick in a Toyota doesn't give you like front digs. It just gives you a separate 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive shift lever. So it's like kind of nice because then it doesn't have a J shift pattern. It's just a straight forward and back. But it was kind of nice to just be able to like put it in two, even whatever low, and then be able to turn easier. Or because I can do like double low 2-wheel drive, or you know any option of those, but just to get around, like it was a lot nicer to have gearing options even being in 2-wheel drive.
yeah. I want fucking front digs just to have front digs, but especially for like at Harlan, there's a couple of areas where you have to make tight swings. It'd be
Right.
super nice to have it in front dig or front wheel drive and be able to just hold back on the handbrake for the rear axle to swing the nose down. Even coming around some of the green trails and shit like that, just where they're stupidly tight turns.
Yep.
Um,
I mean, that's just East Coast wheeling. There's tight turns no matter if you're north or south or whatever. That's just how it is.
yeah.
If you're in the
And
woods, it's going to be tight.
the scope of Harlan's just fucking big too, so you spend a lot of time running around, and I think that my rig probably would actually drive nicer in front wheel drive than it would drive in rear wheel drive,
Yeah,
if that
because it
makes
wouldn't be,
sense.
yeah, well, it wouldn't be pushing you through a turn. It would be dragging you through it, not trying to push straight, you know?
Yeah. Um, dude, this weekend was just absolute hero traction though. I
Yeah, it was at Roush as well.
Fish fossils, not like a big deal trail there.
Hmm.
It's like a moderate trail as far as the ratings would go, but there's a boulder that sits at the end, and you can take the left side line, and the left side line puts you up against this diagonal slab that you have to come up, and you just go out the trail exit. It's pretty simple. The right side line uh puts you facing almost away from where the actual line is, and you have to hop up this dirt bank and then skirt the whole rig around the top side of that ledge to get to the exit. And I
Mhm.
managed to make that on the 5th try. I put the rig over, like the roof bars at the, the long slider bar, if you will, is all fucking dented up and mangled from how many times I slid down off of that into it. And then it would be on its side, throw it in reverse with the steering wheel, cut full driver, and punt it off of the rock that it had flopped onto, back onto all four, and hit it again. And like, I had zero business making that line, but it made it, and it was just a feat of traction.
Yeah, it was fun having like the last 2 runs is like the first time I've ever had stickies, and I went straight to reds. But like I wasn't expecting the difference to be like as noticeable
Yeah, it's
as it
weird.
is. Like it's kind of one of those deals where it's like if you want to put your tire on something with a DOT tire, you kind of got like one shot to put your tire on that rock, if that makes sense. And then like if you slide off, you're gonna have to back up and then hop back on it and just hold, like try to hold your line. But like with a sticky, you can just say, "Oh, I'm going up there," and it will go up there, and it's not gonna slip down as easily, you know.
Yeah, I do. With your setup, does it do the thing where it, like, you'll get on there, you'll start bogging the engine down, or it'll start like warming the tires up, and then as they get warm, it starts to bog the engine down?
Not really. Oh, I can make it bog it down, but with the gearing that is in my rig, like it'll kind of just push through whatever I need it to push through. You know what I mean? Like the 22RE doesn't make a ton of power, but with the 2 cases behind it and the 4.7s in the rear, it just keeps pushing.
Yeah, so like I'll hop up onto something in second gear, right? And I'll be
Yeah.
letting the tires roast, and it'll be sitting there, wham, bam, 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 bam. And that right about the time that it starts to stall off of rev limiter, it just starts to climb up whatever I am facing because the tires have warmed up.
Yeah, so you got to like anticipate when it's going to come out of that. That way you're just not, hitting rev limiter when you're at the
Oh
top.
no, it drags the whole fucking engine down as they warm up.
Right.
So like it'll be sitting there and then it'll just come off of rev limiter and then you're going.
Yeah.
I actually noticed the Comanche doing that, even with the DOTs.
Does it
Well,
float
you
the
got to
fucking valves?
Well, I wasn't bouncing rev limiter, but like I was holding it at like a steady like 3,500, almost 4K, and just without any adjustment, the more smoke that came off the tires, the lower the RPM would be trying to dip, and I'd have to give it a little bit more to keep it up.
Dude, I don't even think I revved my Forerunner over like 3,500 the entire weekend. Like, it's just not that kind of rig.
I was holding pretty true to that myself until that last ledge on the sea trail there. I was getting pretty annoyed that I was getting cucked because of like one tire.
Right.
Looking back at the video that Preston took before he cut the video, it was literally just my passenger rear tire couldn't climb up the wall that it was hitting. So I was hoping just fucking sitting there and letting them roast for a bit would do it, and still didn't do it.
You'll get that from time to time.
Yeah.
So back to Saturday for our group. At the end of the night, it ended up just being, I don't know why Colin dipped out. I don't quite remember, but
I think the dog.
probably the dog, yeah. But it ended up just being me and Craig and Graham, 2 rigs, and we were still trying to do whatever we could, but we were trying to be like, slightly cautious about it because there's only 2 rigs. So like, if there's a real problem, you just got to plan ahead. And so we were like, oh, let's go do O Trail. And I'd never done O Trail before, so I let Graham go ahead of me. And he was like, I'm not going to hit the ledges. I'm not going to do it. I always wad my shit up. And then lo and behold, he's turning up into the ledges, like next thing I know. And so
Wadding his shit up.
yeah, and so I have a couple videos of like standing below where he's just beating it off limiter, and I was like, "Hey, you want me to climb up there and give you a little spot?" And he was like, "Yeah, that'd probably be good." So I get up there, we're working it a little bit, and I told him to put it in front dig so that he could like kind of pivot himself back into a better position, and he did that. And then the next thing we know is rear's not spinning. And he's at the top, and I was like, "Hey, like I think you're still in front dig." And he looked at me and he goes, "No, I'm not." And I looked down and I was like, "Oh, yeah, your rear drive shaft's in 2 pieces." Like me and Craig and Graham were both there, we're all there, and that drive shaft didn't even make a sound, and it ripped itself in half, like twisted completely around and then broke. So
That sounds about right for an Adams drive shaft with Graham in front of it.
turns out it wasn't an Adams drive shaft. I don't know where that shaft came from, and neither does he, but it was definitely like stock size tubing, like not 250 wall, nothing like that. It was, I don't know, it was just such a weird thing. Like I legitimately thought he either popped out of rear or was still in front and forgot about it or whatever, but nobody heard it happen. We just looked down and I was like, "Oh, dude, yeah, she's in 2 pieces." So we ended up backing him off, and I was like, "Do you want to pull the drive shaft?" He was like, "No, it's not even making noise. Like, we'll just cruise slow." And so we drove all the way back up from O Trail all the way to camp, and like doing like, I don't know. I was in like double low 3rd gear, just idling up everything. We probably should have pulled the drive shaft because it ended up doing some pretty serious damage to his floor. But it was
I
like,
don't think he cares about that.
no, but it was like dusk. Like it was actually getting dark. Like I had to turn lights on, and Graham has no lights. So, well, he has like one, little beacon of hope, orange rock light in the front that I was just trying to keep in the rearview mirror. That like literally does nothing at all. It's like a marker light on a trailer. And so then we drove it all the way back up to camp and just called it a night. And we just had like a little fire, whatever, hung out for a little bit, made some food, and then called it. We ended up going to bed fairly early. And then we woke up on Sunday, and I asked him if he had a spare drive shaft, knowing full well that he probably didn't. He didn't have one, and so the option was either find some sort of tubing, because they have a welder at Roush that you can use if you ask, and if someone's there. And so we made the decision I had a front drive shaft in my 4Runner that was, or in my truck bed that was a spare for the front of the 4Runner. It was a little short. I had it in there before and it was pulling apart just because it was the leaf springs when they droop out, the axle moves so far forward that you need a ton of slip travel. And I kind of knew that going in, but I wanted to see. But regardless, I had that shaft, and it was like a quarter wall drive shaft. The tube was long enough for his application, so I gave him that. He chopped it up with an angle grinder and a sawzall, and we made it work. Welded.
That
We
sounds
took it over
ghetto
there.
as hell.
Oh, dude, did it on the trailer. Like it worked pretty good. Like he V'd it out a little bit. The 250 wall I had, he cut like the slip end off, and the slip end like just fit perfectly right into it. Like it sleeved into it almost. The normal yoke end did not do that. It was essentially a butt weld, but regardless, I mean that's how drive shafts are pretty much built these days anyways. We took it over there, got it all welded up, threw it back in the rig, and then we all headed back out. The Rockaholics guys had taken off, so it was just me and Graham and Colin, and we headed over to, I think we did F, red, and then we
Crucible?
were F red, which is like that one that's right off like the main.
Yeah.
Crucible was the last one of the day, and then we did a couple more trails. Colin started having a noise in his rear drive shaft and looked underneath and said that some of his needle bearings were coming out of a U-joint in his CV. And so he took off and went back to camp to fix it. So then it was just me and Graham again. So we kind of just did our own thing. Did a couple trails, nothing crazy. We did like, there's one it's like an upper and a lower, I think it's upper Talisman.
Yeah, Talisman's a good time.
Yeah, so we did that. Each of us did a one line on that. Like, just kind of picking and choosing, like trying to not get too wadded up, being that we had like essentially one rig with working winches, because I guess Graham's is like not working great. And I have a front and a rear winch, but I didn't want to.
Graham, I'm going to try and break the fourth wall here. The fuck, dude? How the fuck is that thing broken? You and Curtis have had broken fucking winches for the same fucking period of time.
Well, in
Both
his
of you
words,
suck.
he said it will work, but it's going to suck. So I don't know what that means. But we were pretty much just treating it like he didn't have a winch. So we were kind of just picking and choosing what we wanted to do. We did, I think we did upper Talisman and then looped around the back and did like BFG. And then went over to Devil's Den and played around over there for a while. And then Colin eventually caught up with us. He got his shit fixed and came back over. And then we did that. I think we did one more. And then me and Craig were trying to leave Sunday before like 5 o'clock. That was kind of the goal. So, because we've been gone since Thursday, we went and visited some family on Thursday and we wanted to be back home just to have a full day to tear everything down and clean up. And so then we were like, well, let's just go run Crucible. I've never seen it. I wanted to see it. And we all went down there, all three of us. We kind of just stayed on the left-hand side just because it was like end of the day kind of thing. Colin's Jeep was having some issues. He kept like losing air in his tires. It was making some weird noises that none of us could ever figure out what it was. I didn't want to have to make those guys pull me through the right-hand side, but then Graham tried to take like the normal exit where instead of like just dipping out to the right where it's kind of like just a road, you go to the left and then you hook hard right over the big boulders. And he was playing around in there for a little bit, and I went over. He got turtled up a couple times. We had to winch him back, and he kept wanting to try it. So we got him in a pretty good spot to where, like, I told him to just hit it, and the moment he hit it, his passenger front just quit spinning. And so we knew something was wrong, but we didn't really go over there to look. We just assumed it was a shaft or whatever. So then we ended up winching him backwards out of the trail just because he was kind of already pointed that way, and I was too lazy to get my winch stuff out, and Collins was already out. So Colin like drove out the end of the trail and then came back, and we winched him backwards. And when he came out, we realized that his entire hub was blown out, like the whole end of it. And so we were like, oh, it's just a hub. And I found all the pieces laying on the ground, and I was like, here you go. Like, it's just a hub. And he was like, sick. I looked in there, stub shaft's in there. Everyone looked at it. We were like, sick, just a hub, no big deal. He's like, I have spare hubs at the truck. And so we all went out the rest of the trail, and then we drove back up, just bombed like pretty much as fast as we could back up to camp. And then we get up there, and turns out the stub shaft that we thought was good, it's not. And it was missing at this point. Like, down on Crucible, we looked and we were like, yep, stub shaft's in there. It's good. It spins too. And then we got up top, and I was like, oh, yeah, the entire outside, it's gone. Like, completely gone.
Dude,
And he was
05 pluses fucking do that shit. And it's that C-clip groove.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, they always break right there, and then it ejects out the hub.
But then he was like, well, I don't have a spare shaft, so I'm done. And me and Craig were like, all right, well, we're just going to load up and head out then, because I knew Colin probably didn't want to go back out either. So we didn't get like a ton of wheeling in, probably not as much as like me and Craig usually would. Like, you guys know us, like we're usually up at like 7 a.m. and rolling. But
Yeah.
Craig he decided to ride with me this weekend just because he didn't want to bring his truck out there. And I mean, we still had a great time. It was a blast, like wheeling with different people, meeting different people, had a good group going. Like everyone was in a good mood. It was a good day. The weather was absolutely perfect. So
I'm pissed that I missed it because I always enjoy Wheeling Roush. Like, it's a cool fucking park.
yep.
But I had a fucking awesome weekend, so I'm not upset that I missed it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I probably haven't been over to Roush since, oh man, probably 2019, 2020 maybe. And honestly, I was shocked how dead the park was on Labor Day weekend. Like, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, like there was people there. But like I've been there on a holiday weekend before and the parking lot is completely packed. Like there was probably 4, maybe 5 groups of like 5 trucks and trailers. So like I would estimate that there was under 50 people, like 50 rigs at the park the entire time, which was
I
very
have to
surprising.
agree.
Yeah.
Which is really weird after last year because everybody started rolling in like midnight on Thursday.
Well, that's like, when we were there Friday, we were like, oh, maybe since it's a long weekend, everybody will roll in late at night. And then we woke up and we were like, man, it's still empty. It was kind of surprising. Like, it's kind of a shame because, like, it is such a good park. And, like, I get it. It is expensive. It's more expensive than most places. But,
Well,
like,
we also kind of fucked up this year. Normally we have a Facebook page and we do all that, but we had all that fucking bullshit go on. And, like,
yeah, we also
I'll
didn't
just
know who else was going to be there either.
I'll just fucking say it, but like there was way too much fucking stupid shit on the back burner and it just kind of like went by the fucking wayside because no one wanted to really pick it up and sit down and plan anything for it. So it was like, yeah, we're still going to go cuz like it's what we do, but
Right.
it wasn't as well put together as it has been.
Yeah.
And it's such a good park, and like the people that work there are so nice and like very accommodating and willing to help. Like they help Preston all weekend. Like
Oh
they
yeah.
let Graham use their welder. I've been there before and used their welder to put together a Kingpin 60 steering knuckle that broke in half. Like I've used the things that they offer like pretty often, and I just hope that it's not a sign of like a decline of that park because there's been
And
people going there forever.
it's crazy too because they also dropped their prices this year too.
Right. Yeah,
It,
they
it was
originally
more
said they were going
expensive
to raise.
last year.
Yeah, they originally said they were going to raise them, but I don't think they did. It was, I mean, yeah, it was expensive. Like, don't get me wrong. It's more expensive. It's the most expensive place that's close to me, because Roush's, it's roughly about 5 hours from me. So it is like an endeavor to make it out there. But it's some of the best wheeling on the East Coast. And I think the other part of it is now, like, in under an hour from Roush, there's 2 more places to go. Like there's AOAA, and then Famous Reading Outdoors has a lot of stuff too. And they're a lot cheaper than going to Roush.
Yeah,
So I
and
think that maybe it's like hurting their
It'll-
business a little bit, but like if
it'll
you want
be
these,
it'll also soon be 3 places because the old Paragon is supposedly opening up in like the next year or two.
I've heard that for the last 3 or 4 years, so I'll believe that when I
I
see it because that's
I
pretty
I
close to
saw
me.
government documentation.
I've seen a bunch of paperwork too.
I'm
But that
They
would be
were
excited
awesome.
for it
looking
if
for
it
somebody to
happens.
run the front office, and that was it.
Yeah, that would be awesome if they would open. But I just hope that, people realize that like if you want to go wheel these types of places, like sometimes you have to pay to be able to use their facilities. And like Roush doesn't have like a lot of facilities. Like they don't have like a campground like AOAA does, or like cabins like places like Good Evening or Windrock or all those places. But like it is an awesome park. It's huge. There's something for everybody there.
The thing
So
with Roush is if they could put in a like actual legitimate shower house,
Yeah.
a lot of the complaints would just disappear.
I
Because
don't even have to see a shower house. I would just like an actual shit house.
Yeah.
well, I would like a shit house and a shower house. If I'm gonna be there for 4 fucking days after having been spoiled by living where I'm at now, like
Right.
a shower house is just like to be expected.
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
well, I mean, don't get me wrong. Shower house would be nice, but not being stuck with porta potties all weekend would be the cream of the crop.
yeah, they were rough by the time we even got there.
Yeah,
But like, I think that's part of it too, is like, there's a lot of people that are trying to get out and go do some hardcore crawling, and they're trying to take their families, and it's a lot harder to do that at a place like Roush that doesn't have those type of facilities as compared to other places.
Yeah, I mean, like, so we stayed at Riverbend Campground in Harlan. Their shower houses weren't done yet. Like, they just knocked down or like cleared the foundation and, the building's up, but it's not fully put together. We just drove over to Putney, took a shower, a shit in a nice toilet. It's a 20-minute ride across town to go shower over there, but like, they're the same off-road park. I paid to enter the fucking park. I'm gonna take a shower. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like, nice. It was a lukewarm shower, but I still was able to get all that coal dust and shit that gets sprayed up on you when you don't have a windshield off of my face and like, use a normal toilet.
Yeah, like I'm not looking for like a hotel or anything like that. Like I roll rooftop tent on the truck or ground tent or whatever, and like me and Craig like camping out and having fires and stuff, and you don't get the same type of environment if you have like a cabin or whatever, But having some sort of amenities like that would be nice. And like the one thing about Roush is like we were there, 3 full days, and we were cruising the whole park, and I didn't see a single tree down across the trail. I didn't see any type of garbage around the entire park. Like it's an extremely clean and well kept trail system. So good for them
yeah.
on that.
I agree, except I do have a few complaints with that.
All right, air it out, Richie.
I did find a couple trees that were down across some trails, but they were like the really obscure trails in the far corners of the park.
Yeah.
I still let the office know though. And I
Yeah.
was told, okay, we'll take care of it, which
Right.
awesome.
Yeah,
I
and
also
I really believe they will. Like,
Oh yeah.
you guys were doing a lot of the like greens and blues this weekend, and we were primarily trying to stay blacks and reds, and all those trails that we saw, which are probably more heavily trafficked, were very well kept.
Yeah, exactly. But I also had a complaint, and I told the office too, where a lot of the trail markers are getting grown over on a healthy portion of the park from what I saw.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah,
We did see some of
especially
that, yeah.
especially on the what do you call it? The west side of the property. A
Yeah.
lot of the trail markers like were almost completely grown over, and you couldn't read them until you were like right at the trail marker. Like you couldn't just look down and go, okay, that's that trail.
Right, yeah.
So there was quite a few wrong turns that me and Preston ended up taking because I couldn't read the fucking sign.
Yeah,
So
we had our fair share as well, but like that place, like there's not a lot of trails that aren't marked. And if it
yeah,
is a trail that's unmarked, you're probably running it like the wrong way, even though like, most of their trails you could run 2 ways. But like it is pretty easy to get around there, even with a paper map, like because there's a lot going in between. We did run into, I don't remember if it was on the top of Jotters, but there was a gate that was closed, like inside the park.
Ah,
at the end of E Trail.
Yeah, that might have been it. So we ended up. It looked like people.
It's labeled on the paper map that there is a gate there.
Yeah, and it looked like some people had been driving around it and like started cutting a path around it. We chose not to. We chose to just turn around, go back another way. Like we didn't even check if it was dummy locked or anything. But we ended up just going around another way. But that was weird to just see a gate in the middle of like a main trail to get around.
Yeah,
Huh.
I was really surprised to see that gate was closed because I want to say last year it was open.
Yeah, I've never even seen that gate before, so it's probably been open.
It was definitely there last year, but I'm almost completely confident it was open.
Yeah, I
I
wish I
know
would
that
have
there's a
came out
couple
that
of
year.
gates over by Crawdaddy that have been shut several times when we went there.
See, we
Are you
didn't.
thinking Crawdaddy or Crawler's Ridge?
Crawdaddy, like
Okay.
the opposite side of the park from O Trail and all the main like
Oh,
black
okay.
trails on that side.
Yeah, we
And
didn't even make
the
it down there. Like, didn't do Crawler's Ridge, didn't do Crawdaddy, didn't even make it down. Like, what's the one trail that runs like kind of adjacent to Rock Creek that's a red? It's like 2 or something, maybe 20. I don't remember. But we didn't even make it anywhere near down that way, which like was weird to me because usually that's like kind of the area that I'm down in when we're there. But we had, so there was supposed to be probably 4 more rigs coming out with me and Craig, but pretty much everybody bailed and decided to just stay local for the weekend, whether it was money or the rigs weren't ready or whatever, which that's nobody's fault. Everyone's doing different stuff, but it would have been nice to have a couple more rigs with us because, you know, if it's just us, if it's just me and Craig and Graham and Colin and one person breaks, it's kind of like, you know, 2 rigs is not really enough to go hit like real hard stuff and be like confident about it, you know?
Yeah, I feel that. I've been feeling that 3 is kind of like a sweet spot though.
It is. You can usually cruise a lot of trails if it's 3. Just sometimes 2, you just don't want to put yourself in a situation that you're going to need more than what you have, you know?
Oh, I
that
totally get
was
that.
I was definitely in that party
Yeah,
Saturday
right.
because
Yeah,
with
how did
just
you
me
even
and
drive?
Press.
How did
Huh?
you drive his Jeep back with a broken track bar? Just drove it back with a broken track bar?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, he couldn't take a full, I think it was a full left turn,
No, they don't like that.
but it turned just fine to the right.
Well, yeah, because the bar was hitting the other broken end and stopping it.
Yeah, no, it was we believe he broke the track bar dropping down the steps on the black section of pole line, the power line that is closest to the parking lot.
Right.
Because we ended up coming across a big group of JKs, and they something was going on with them. So we said, "Fuck it," backed up to the closest intersection, which was B Trail, and just flew down B. Preston said that one of the K guys tried flagging him down. So
Probably
we're
for that.
we're wondering if the two incidences coincide.
Yeah, they probably saw him cruise by, saw it just wobbling around, and thought about it for a second, and then they were like, "Ah, it is a Cherokee. It's probably fine."
Yeah, we
Fucking
got out to E Trail, and like I ripped down E Trail, and Preston had a boogie to catch up to me.
Right.
And then we stopped because that way I could look at the map, and he looked at the front end of his Jeep, and he was like, "Oh, fuck."
Yeah, on Thursday when we were like just cruising around with you guys, you were leading and you were flying, and I was like, "There's no way that's comfortable in that thing."
It was.
Really? Well, you're long. What is the wheelbase on that thing?
120.
Wow, damn.
It does a really good job soaking up bumps
Well,
with
that's mostly
rear
chassis.
shocks.
That's chassis flex too, bud.
The chassis is pretty fucking rigid.
I'll
I
argue
mean,
that. For no cage, it's probably pretty rigid.
Yeah, but it's probably the most rigid fucking non-caged rig.
Yeah.
I mean, it is fully stiffened with sliders, so
Right. Yeah, and the Comanche has like a way better back section than a Cherokee does.
And not only does it have a better back section, but I also have additional bracing that I welded in to attach my bumper to.
Oh, okay.
So like the rear bumper is I have like a giant it's kind of like an H shape that I welded onto the X cross member.
Yeah.
And so the bumper is kind of an additional cross member now too.
Yeah.
helps keep it together. I don't know how long that's gonna hold up when you finally start smacking the ass end off of everything, but you know, we gotta wait for you to hit 40s for that problem to become a problem.
Yeah.
Hey,
Although
dude.
I did notice that my steering box mount. No, not the steering box mount. The track bar mount was starting to wiggle around on me.
Is it just a bolt-on style one?
Yeah, it's just bolted on. I
That shit.
don't like the track bar / track bar mount that
Yeah.
came with the Jeep. So I kept telling myself I wasn't gonna weld it on because I was gonna replace it. So I think I should finally replace it.
Yeah,
I
those
heard rumors that you were gonna force yourself to replace it anyway.
Yeah, I am replacing it.
Yeah, it's not gonna work very well with tons.
Well, why do you think I was waiting to replace it?
Well, that's what I was saying.
So I was just dilly dallying because I had to get my ducks in a row.
Dude, fucking my track bar setup is so well tied in at this point, it just moves everything. And I'm sitting there sawing on the steering, and I'm watching the fucking shifter walk back and forth as I am sawing on the steering. And so that means it's moving the whole fucking nose and engine around at this point.
But
Hell yeah.
no track bar
Cherokee
issues
things.
here.
it's definitely going to be a different game come springtime.
That it will. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, dude, like we
Especially
talked, keep that thing low.
That's
Yeah.
the
Same way
like I
it
was
is right
saying
now on 40s. Keep it low.
like I was saying to you Friday night, Jake. The
Yep.
plan is that the only additional height is going to come from axle tube / tire differences.
Yep. Keep it as low as you can.
Yeah, and just punch that front axle fucking way the hell out there.
Yep, as far as you can. Cut that bed as short as you can and punch that front axle as far as you can.
Well, I have to decide what the rear suspension is going to be because if I keep the leaf springs, I can't cut the bed any shorter because it's already at the hanger. So
Yeah.
the only way to go shorter is shorter leaves, which I'm not going to do, or uh coilover / air shock or what have you.
Dude, if you're going to do it, let me know when you're going to do the rear suspension. I'll sit down with you and fucking help you get some of the numbers where you need them to be. But like just to get it rolling, U-bolt eliminators with fucking shock tabs on top is so fucking easy.
That is more than likely what's going to happen.
Fucking put an anti-wrap bar on there and like just call
Oh
it
yeah.
a fucking day. Because
I definitely need an anti-wrap bar.
the Cummins needs an anti-wrap bar. The rock crawler definitely needs an anti-wrap bar.
See, I'm not running one, and I have no issue with axle wrap It's more of like the front end wants to dance up and down, and then it shakes the whole rig into like a little bit of a hop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, you've got like 22 horsepower, so
That's true. But I have super long rear leaf springs. So you would think it would have a decent amount, but honestly, it doesn't.
are you running the full pack?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the 3-leaf pack with it still has a helper in it too, which I'm probably going to pull, so that might change a little bit, but it's
Your helper's
yeah,
probably acting like a baby fucking slapper
probably.
bar.
Probably. I haven't really seen an issue or felt an issue with the helper. I more just want to pull it out because I'm curious. I'd like to lower the ride height in the back just a little bit, and I think if I delete like the rear shackle hanger and like French one into the frame, I can gain a couple inches of height, so I might not even need to delete the helper. But yeah, this is like my first time building a leaf sprung rig that's like somewhat capable. So I'm just kind of playing around with it still.
Yeah, I would
I would
consider
imagine too,
popping the
Jake.
helper.
I would imagine too, just from what I saw on Friday, that it helps that you don't like get on it all the time.
Oh,
No,
hey.
I'm pretty gentle with it. Like it's not that type of rig that's like, I don't want to like I don't really care about beating it up, but I don't want to just beat the shit out of it for no reason yet. This is only my second run out, so I'm still like learning where my tires are, learning how to wheel it with that wheelbase. Like I've had a 96-inch wheelbase for the last 4 years in a Samurai, which is really long for a Samurai, but really short for anything else. But I'm learning how to wheel with like because my wheelbase is right around 109. Um, so I'm learning how to wheel with a longer wheelbase and wider than the Samurai, bigger tires, and I thought that the suspension would have like less travel because of leaf springs, but honestly, it performs very similarly to what I'm used to. So I'm pretty content with that. I think like my big upgrades from here are just going to be more driver comfort things. And I have a couple weird like fuel system things that I got to hash out, but other than that, just like making it more comfortable to cruise around in. It actually rides way better than I thought it would with the leaf springs. And I have like decent Bilstein shocks on it, like nothing fancy, just like 5100s all the way around. But my leafs are set up properly, and I was surprised that I could like bomb dirt road trails with big G outs at like, what I felt was a pretty good speed, which was probably like 30 miles an hour, but that's still a lot for a rock crawler.
Um, yeah, I mean, with the longer rear leaf springs, it's going to bomb pretty well. I'm not surprised by that. And, like, I think that the longer leaf springs work fairly well overall. I know Nick Jonard's setup has been working well on
Right.
63s, and Luke Kennedy's setup on 63s works well, except
Yeah.
for God hating that Jeep.
You just got to keep in mind like where the back of the rig is. You know what I mean? Like you can't be going up a big ledge with a big rock right before it and try and back off of it because you're just going to KO a leaf. Like you just got to know the limits of it.
Or just forget that they exist.
Well, that too.
Um, leaf springs are, in fact, for poor people.
I'm sure you can ask Graham a thing too about KOing the Leafs.
Yeah,
Uh,
he been a rear hanger pretty bad this weekend too, so
That poor fucking Jeep.
I know.
Typical Graham.
It works so good and it's so fun. And I'm just like, man, just please make it a little bit better. It wheels so good. It drives good. He knows what it does. But I think he's gonna be turning to other avenues at some point soon.
Is he finally doing a chassis?
He was talking about it a little bit, but he's still up in the air.
I would like to see Graham in the chassis.
Yeah, me too. Because the dude's fearless. He knows how to drive.
Yeah, he's fearless is a good description for his driving style. He also knows that like that rig generally doesn't explode things, but when it does explode things, it's generally not catastrophic. It's like a stub shaft and shit, so he needs to put slugs in that bitch and just go wheel it.
Richie, did you come out of the whole weekend with nothing broken?
Not a single thing broke.
That's pretty good. I did pretty much the same,
I hate
which
you.
I don't know if that means I'm not wheeling hard enough or if it just works pretty good, but I
Well-
felt like I wheeled it harder than I had planned to, and I'm pretty happy about how that turned out.
I definitely ended up hitting things harder than I had planned on, but I was pretty nervous after the ledge on the sea trail that I had fucked my front end because I started noticing the front end doing like some really weird shit with the steering before I got off the ledge.
Yeah.
But I aired up the tires once I got home and then did like 65 up to my in-laws. So like I guess it wasn't that bad.
Did you make the pig roast?
I did.
Nice. That's good.
Wife is happy. I think I'm all set for next year.
Hell yeah.
We gotta figure out what we're doing for next year at like a reasonable fucking point in time this year while it is still this year, so we can do a better job at promoting it for next year.
So
Yeah.
Craig and I were talking this weekend and we kind of pitched it to you guys. So we might have something in the works for that, but we'll talk about that at a separate
Off air?
time. Yes.
Okay.
Just because we need to line it all up perfectly for it to actually work.
There's
Yeah.
been on our end, I will just leave it at this. There's been talk for a couple years about cutting it way back and going invite only.
Mm-hmm.
That might just be the reality going forward.
What, you got to make everybody feel special for them to show up?
Yeah.
Not even that like feel special, but just like we've been holding it at Roush for quite a while.
Right.
Fucking, if we're gonna go to different parks, keep it to a reasonable group size to get 2 groups out on trail and the
Is
like.
this 2 or 3 years at Roush?
This is I think 5.
Really? Oh, I mean, like in a row.
This was the second year back at Roush.
Okay.
23 was the only year that it's not been at Roush, and it's been
Okay.
going since 2020.
Yeah, I was at 23. Yep.
23 was a riot. I
Yep.
think you were riding with me when I blew that drive shaft up.
Oh yeah.
Good times.
Yeah, I was in there. Yeah, and then we took the Samurai back up to get parts.
At the truck that ended up becoming my truck.
Yeah, that worked out.
Good timing.
Yep.
But yeah, Roush has been a really good fucking spot. They've been super accommodating. It's just we've done it a lot. Like
Right.
a lot. So we might look at famous Reading, we might look elsewhere. Who knows?
Right.
Because I sure as fuck don't.
I mean, regardless of the fact, I still plan on making at least one pilgrimage to Roush a year for at least the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I would like to do that too. So you're gonna have to give me a heads up when you're going.
Oh yeah, because like Roush is a easy weekend trip for me still
Right.
with the distance and everything.
Yeah,
So
I get that. It's just going back up there when it's 12 hours after doing it for several years is getting. I can see where Curtis is coming from.
Right.
well, yeah, but I mean, for a 12-hour ride for you though is
A
not
4-hour ride for you.
yeah, it's not an easy weekend trip for you.
I miss going to Roush when like it was just the 2 of us going down there, or when it was like the 4-hour trips, because then it's entirely worth it. It doesn't really matter that it's expensive because you don't have that many other expenses going towards the trip.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a close enough location that you could take a single day off of work, whether it be Friday or Monday, ride down the night before, wheel all weekend, and then go home.
Yep. Hell, if you wanted to even leave, if you took off like a Friday and you left Thursday, wheeled Friday, Saturday, and left midday Sunday, you'd be back in time for dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's usually how like most of our trips go on our end. Like I don't work Fridays, so it usually works out best for most of us if we're wheeling Friday, Saturday, and then coming home Sunday, either morning or afternoon or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, me and Preston got there Thursday night. We wheeled well, as much as we could Friday and Saturday, and then we were on the fence about wheeling Sunday morning, but with Preston's shackle box going through the floor, we decided to just kind of sleep in a little bit, take it easy in the morning, and just casually load up and fuck off.
Yeah, I get that. Let's see. I wheeled Thursday night, Friday a little bit. I blew the Sterling up Friday. I had this, so I went on the night ride with someone else. I had it repaired for Saturday morning. We went out Saturday morning, had a blast doing that. We were out most of the day with that. Then I got back into camp. I left for the night ride at like 8 o'clock, and the rig was KO'd by 5 a.m. So I left Sunday morning because I'd blown the 1350 and the pinions walking back and forth 3/8 of an inch. So like, probably should see what the fuck's going on in there before I carry onwards with it.
I do think that it is funny that you blew a Sterling shaft, mainly because it's either Graham or Curtis would always give you shit about fucking having a spare Sterling shaft.
Yeah, well, they were supposed to come down to AOP, and I wasn't sure if they made it in the car or not, and then they got forgotten about. And
Yeah, sorry.
uh, I will be locally sourcing a set of spare axle shafts after this weekend. I'll probably just take a ride down to LKQ because, like, I've got the impact. They come right the fuck out. I'll go pull 2 sets and call it a day. The Sterling's been nothing but good to me this entire time. So, like, for those shafts to have finally let go, whatever. It was twisted up at the spline end, but it snapped clean off at the actual hub side, like 2.5 inches inside of the hub. So it wasn't a catastrophic explosion. We were able to pull it out with a magnet, and life was good.
Yeah, at least it didn't hurt anything in the diff.
Yeah. That fucking diff is something. It's got 1/2 inch plate laid into it, and I'm pretty sure the centering pin had to get beaten in with a hammer, so if it actually causes a massive fucking problem, it's not going to be pleasant to fix.
It's gonna be like Pat's, isn't it?
Yeah, it's gonna be fucking pull the carrier out and like try and fucking shimmy that bitch out of the axle.
Did you see those pictures?
No.
Oh, I forget his name. It's keep talking. I'll look for it.
Did it just like fucking grenade inside of the carrier with a
No.
long shrapnel piece?
No, Patrick Carroll.
Yeah.
Did you see the pictures? So apparently his welded diff broke. He was at Roush this weekend, and I've never met the guy, so this is just me seeing it on a trailer and Graham talking to him. But apparently the welded diff exploded and one of the spider gears shot out the side and it blew the entire bottom of the casting off of the housing. Like there is a gaping hole that you could put your fist in the bottom of his rear axle.
I was there. It was spectacular. I wasn't there for the original explosion, but I saw the mini explosions afterwards. It was fucking awesome.
That's probably like top 3 worst trail breaks I've ever seen before.
That is truly wild, and at that point, the housing's just done.
Yeah,
There's nothing for it.
the way it happened, I'm looking at a picture of it right now. I'll send you a picture of it. It with a shave kit, it could possibly be savable, but you're gonna have a hell of a time plating it back in. I just sent you 2 pictures of it.
Alrighty.
It's pretty bad. I've never seen anything like this in my life.
It's just gone.
You see it?
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Is that that's a 14 bolt?
I believe it is.
No, it's not a
Sterling.
14 bolt. Is it?
I don't know.
Or is that Dana? That looks Dana.
I play with Toyota axles. I don't know what the fuck anything else is.
Yeah, that's rear steer. I have no clue what the fuck that thing is.
Whatever it is, it's smoked.
Impressively so.
Oh yeah. Did her good.
Yeah, you might be able to save that if you made it like a 13 bolt, but like...
Yeah, and just plate in the bottom of it and call it good.
That's still fucking insane.
Dude, the ring gear's not even broke. Like all the carnage on the ring gear in that picture, it's hard to tell, but like the carnage from the ring gear is from it like hitting other stuff. You know what I mean? Like if it hadn't chattered around in there for a split second, it probably like the carrier and everything would be okay. But that's why I run spools and everything.
Spools are cool. I like my welded. It hasn't been a problem yet. It might eventually become a problem, but
The
we'll
only
cross that
time
bridge later.
I used to run welded diffs, and I had one in the Samurai, and the issue I had was down at Good Evening, I broke both rear axle shafts in a weekend, which was impressive, but it got stuck in there, and I had to pull the whole diff to get it out. Now, with a spool, if you break one in there, and you don't care about whatever little pieces are in there, if it looks like a clean break, you can just shove it out the other side.
Sick.
You know what I mean? Because the spool's just straight the way through. There's no cross pin in there. There's none of that. So you can just push it right out the other side and then grab it with a magnet or whatever. Because, like, you know, we've all tried to, like, fish a broken axle shaft out of a carrier with a magnet through an axle tube. That doesn't work out of the carrier. But if you shove it all the way through and you can get it to drop out the other side, then you can grab it usually.
Yeah, we had one break this weekend. I think it was in a spool. We just ended up pushing it right out and pulling it out with a magnet, so that made
Right.
things super simple.
But if you have a center pin in there on like a welded diff, you can't get anything past it.
Very true.
Most of the
Which is where the nightmare of my rear axle exploding comes in, but
Right.
thankfully mine was pleasant.
out on the end, yeah. That's like Mike when he broke his axle shaft. It was his are like they're a Brannick. I think they're either a 1480 or a 1550. I don't know. It's a big U joint, but it's converted from that and then machined down to fit inside a 30 spline high pinion Toyota diff. And his broke like pretty much clean off inside the diff, like in the middle of the splines, but then behind where the brake was, the splines were twisted like probably 4 or 5 splines over, you know? Like it was a pretty bad break, and luckily he had a spare shaft, but he had to pull his entire diff apart to do it.
Not ideal.
No, not at all.
What was it? We were at the ranch and Johnny with Mike's old TJ or JK Charlotte. fucking
Yeah.
grenaded that thing multiple times, and I remember him having a bitch of a time having to fish shit out in there.
Yeah, most of the time it's worth pulling it apart all the way anyways, but like I don't know. It's just shit breaks. It happens.
I'm about to take the fucking centering pin just clean out of the rear axle in my rig because there's 3/4 inch
Yeah, you
plates
don't
in
even
there.
need it. You don't need it.
Yeah, make it easier to just fucking hammer the.
Yep.
But that sounds like a project to do when the carrier is like out of the rig.
Probably. Yeah.
I tell you what, when that fucking axle shaft blew, the fluid that came out of there was, yeah, top tier. About mud colored and
Good
slightly more lubricious than mud.
Good soup.
Good soup, yeah. Coated my fucking wheel too, so that wheel's like fucking that black, dusty, nasty gear
Yeah.
oils mixed in with everything. So I'm actually gonna have to pretend that I care about it when I clean it.
Oh, dude, the whole front of my rig, the entire front of it, is covered in power steering fluid from when my Ram like knocked a fitting loose. It'll never rust, but like it was such a pain in the ass to clean. Like, dude, it's everywhere. Like it's on the bottom of my hood. It's all over the place.
So
It'll never rust though, so that's good.
this one's stupid, but like I parked the Jeep in a cover it at like just to get it out of the weather and everything.
Right. Yeah.
I like going out there and hanging out and playing music and like tinkering on it. So I
Yeah.
bought a citronella candle. The
Yeah.
fucking thing rotted out in the bottom. And so like I'm burning this candle and now there's just a trail of candle wax running down the hood and it completely changed the paint color. I've washed it like twice now and it's just dark blue spot on the fucking hood that there's nothing I can do about other than repainting it.
You just gotta wax the rest of it now.
That's funny. You think I would actually do more than spray it off with a hose?
No.
That
There's
poor
a
fucking
a
rig.
video I posted on Instagram of me like going up through crawler or what is it? Shoot the moon and just railing the driver's side. And Graham took the video and you can hear him going, "Oh, not the new paint."
Well, I actually like expect you to kind of keep a nice rig because what you do for work, you can just like kind of splice a new body panel in there real quick and no one will notice.
Yeah. I might. I don't know. I painted all of it once. I'm probably not going to paint it again.
That's fair.
Toyotas
Krylon,
look,
baby.
Toyotas look better when they're raisined. No, it's like some just universal shop line single stage because whatever. It was the closest color I could get because I painted everything but the like bedsides and the roof.
Honestly, I couldn't even tell that.
Yeah, when I bought that rig, it didn't have doors, fenders, or a hood. So I sourced those otherwise and kind of like got the closest match I could to the rest of it.
Does it still have like full functional doors?
No, they're half doors, but I'm telling you now, they're gonna go away, and I'm just gonna probably put some more tubes in there. Like I have a door bar. I kind of like having a functional door just because it's easier to get in and out of. So I might play with like the tube door thing. Like the way that the body is on mine, it's not like a Cherokee where I think that I'm gonna have problems with like the A pillar and stuff like that and like the hinges. So I might do some sort of tube door on there or maybe just like a solid bolted or welded tube door that is easy to get over. But I do like having functional doors. I like having the half doors on there. I don't know, it just feels nice when you have a door, but and the visibility is like pretty good, but I think I might go down the like tube door avenue. Whether I just buy some to try them because they're cheap and I can get them for a Toyota, or if I just like do a couple more tubes coming out of my cage and just tie it all back in. Like I'm not sure what I want to do yet, but I might the full like painted doors are probably going to go away.
I don't blame you there. I really like my door bars. The only thing I'm running into is I keep bending them, so now I have to go winch them back out and then probably run a connector piece down to the bottom. And I think I'm gonna skin them with that blue polymer shit that Bronco-ish skinned his buggy with, just so that way they stop tracking fucking mud in by the,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, that's the other thing
boatload.
too, is like keeping your seats nice and stuff. Like, I like the look of rigs with like some sort of door that like has the body lines of the rest of the body, but they're only temporary. Like, these ones are just going to be on until they don't open and close anymore, and then I'll do something else.
Yeah, I just bent mine at the angle that they're bent at, so that way I can get in and out of the rig relatively easily because I'm too fucking lazy to.
Like, climb over just like a flat tube all the way. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel you
Uh,
there too.
Also, like, when I want to get out of it quick, it's nice to be able to just rotate my feet up a little bit and out
Yeah.
sideways.
Yeah, like I have door bars that are like diagonal that go from like the bottom of the A to like just below like my shoulder position when I'm in the seat. And it's so nice to just be able to like pivot up and out over them versus like having to stand up out the door jam. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I had a bitch of a time getting in and out of Jake Stidwell's rig because I'm not that fucking flexible, but he's also got a half door in there and it doesn't open. So you have to like crawl out. The slider doesn't stick out as far, so you're like
Right.
kind of trying to hold like onto that, 3/4 of an inch of
Like pinch
tube
weld.
that's yeah.
Yeah.
And then flop gracefully down out of a rig on 40s. I'm not
Right.
very graceful.
No, me either.
But Richie,
Yes.
is Roush still as magical as it used to be on 35s?
Oh, for sure.
Glad to
Dude.
hear that.
Dude, I miss wheeling on 35 sometimes.
I have no complaints about being on the 35s.
Like, me and Craig talk about this all the time. Like, we had so much fun wheeling when we were on 35s. And like, yeah, we're trying to do some of the harder stuff, but like, it was just a blast, you know?
Well, like
Yeah,
from my perspective, right? I spent the whole weekend bombing around on the greens and blues, and I still had a pretty decent time. I'm sure if you, Jake, Graham, and Colin got stuck with me and Preston bombing around on the greens and blues the whole weekend, you guys would have been pretty fucking bored.
Yeah.
I
So,
think
like,
that there's a certain magic to it though, because like you spend more time traveling to the actual obstacles than when you're at Roush on 35s. Some of the actual obstacles are a little bit, daunting compared to what they are now.
Yeah, like,
yeah,
technically, there's more to do if you're on 35s. That's like worth doing, you know?
I'd agree with that.
Just because like the blues are more challenging when like the blues to like a rig on 39s or 40s is just like a road. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
yeah.
can
I
agree
mean,
with that.
half the blues that we did were mainly just, I don't want to say that they were roads, but that there wasn't like giant ledges that we were climbing up. It was just like, oh, this fucking rock is in the way. I gotta get over it. Or like, I noticed that a lot of the blues on the west property were mainly just trails going through fucking washouts.
Yeah, there was a lot of that like down on the bottom side. There's a black down there that's called like, so it was on the map and it's called Area 51. And we were cruising around, like me, Graham, and Colin, trying to find it. And we were like on it on the map. Our GPS location was on it, and it was just like dirt road with little tiny mud holes in it. And I was like, is this a black, or is it a black when it's super wet and it's like a black mud trail?
Yeah.
Probably that.
That's kind of what I was guessing because it was like kind of on the way to where we were trying to head. So we were trying to like map out stuff to where we weren't just like driving to nonstop. We were trying to do stuff like kind of in an order that made sense to like maximize what we were doing. And it was just like a waste of time going down there, and it was a bummer.
I know on the west property there was a blue trail that we went up, and the hardest part of the trail was a hill climb that was all washout.
Yeah.
And according to Preston, the driver's side of my Jeep did not touch the ground the whole way up the washout.
Sweet.
And I know I had to scoop about like 20 pounds of dirt out of the Jeep because I was definitely scraping the passenger side.
Fucking, it's just a different ball game, and I think one of the things that like has been super nice for me is getting into the like this weekend we were out trail bombing, if that makes sense. We weren't out like trying to run just hard trails because that's not Harlan's set up where there's like a bunch of hard trails, but there's also like a bunch of running in between, and it kind of like felt how going to Roush used to feel back in the day on like 34s and 35s, where you were going between obstacles, and some of the trails that you were going up, you had to actually think a little bit about what you were doing. But like you were still bombing through them, and it really like it's a good feeling when you're getting into that kind of a groove.
Yeah.
But we're coming up on a little past, I don't know, we're at like 2 hours or so according to the
Damn. Yeah.
according to the timer here. It's been awesome talking with you, Jake. Thank you for coming out to the Web Wheelers Ball. I'm pissed I didn't make it this year. Uh, it's still one of the things, like, it's on my list for next year, even if it ends up back at Roush, that I want to go to. But I just couldn't make it happen this year, and I'm kind of glad in retrospect that it didn't happen because I had a killer time at Harlan. But I look forward to wheeling with all the New England guys again pretty soon. I just have to actually figure out how to make it happen because it's not like y'all are 5 minutes up the road anymore.
Yeah, it's a haul, but we just got to keep at it and try and stay in contact and keep wheeling.
I want to go back to the ranch at some point.
I'll be down there in October,
Uh,
10th through the
maybe.
13th.
Maybe. We'll
Make
see
it
what happens.
it
I'm
happen.
supposed to go to GMP 2 weeks after that, so I might just go to GMP
Yeah,
because
I've never
that's
been
an
there
hour
either.
and 15 minutes away.
How far is the ranch? Like 8?
7.
Yeah, that's not terrible.
It's not a bad drive to make it to the ranch. It's just I'm really lucky that there's a lot of really good local wheeling.
Yeah, that's kind of how it is for like my area too. Is like within 5 hours of me, like I have everything out by Roush, Famous Redding, AOA, and then like local parks close to me. The ranch is pretty close. Like everything's like in that 5 hour range, and like it's enough to keep us busy most of the year.
Yeah, that 4 hour range puts me anywhere from Alabama to Harlan.
Right.
And like Windrock, AOP, all of that shit is just local and
Yeah, because
nice.
you're like similar to me where you're like on a border of a couple states.
Yep.
So it's nice just to have that like quick access to other stuff.
Yeah, and I dude, I went from not liking Harlan to Harlan quickly becoming like one of my favorite fucking parks, so I'm probably gonna terrorize that next year until I'm bored of it. Um, it's just it's been fucking awesome. Anyways, we don't have sponsors anymore, but go check out Young Custom Coating for your powder coat, Cerakote, all that other fun stuff. Logan does good work. He's been a longtime friend of the show. give him some business. Jake,
Plug.
if you want to shout out your socials, feel free.
Just Jake Thompson on Instagram, drop the N, and Facebook. I'm on there too, but not super active on Facebook, mostly Instagram.
Hell yeah. Look forward to seeing you again, dude. I appreciate the truck. That thing's been an absolute animal for me. I put 23,000 miles on it since I bought it from you.
Yeah, man, I'm glad it worked out for you. It was a great truck for me. It's just I was tired of getting stuck with the 2-wheel drive.
I don't blame you one bit. It's annoying. AOP's field is my nemesis. If I'm in the backfield, I'm getting stuck. There's nothing I can do about it. Whoop-de-fucking-do. If I'm in the front field, I'm fine.
Yeah, I
So,
needed the extra cab space for a kid too, so I had to get a crew cab.
yeah,
It's doable in an extended cab, it's just a lot harder.
yes. And right now, the back seat is like tools.
Yeah.
Just tools. Fucking, I'm not driving a 20, what is that truck now? Fucking 24 years old with, without an impact and the injector sets and all that stuff, or injector wrenches and all that stuff, just in case the fuel pump fucking shits out or something stupid like that happens. I can at least deal with it.
Yep, go prepared or get repaired.
And on that note, have a good night, everyone. Next week we will be putting out another episode, so you get a rare like 2 in 2 weeks. We almost are pretending that we're back at it or something. I don't know. But thank you for coming on, Jake. Richie, as always, fucking blast talking with you.
Yep, thanks for having me, guys.